Picture yourself walking through a thick woodland where heavy branches create shadows and sharp thorns block your way. Yet you sense an invisible presence leading you forward. When you trip and lose your balance, something soft and caring stops you from hitting the ground hard. There is a force greater than yourself working behind the scenes, shielding you from dangers you cannot even detect. You cannot put it into words, but deep down you understand that someone or something is looking out for you. Even when the road ahead seems unclear, you are never walking it completely alone. Sometimes life throws challenges at us that feel too big to handle. We lose our jobs, our hearts get broken, our carefully made plans fall apart. But what if these roadblocks are not proof that we have been forgotten or left behind? What if these difficult moments are actually messages telling us that we are being guided, kept safe, and made ready for something much better? During these tough periods, what if the universe is not trying to hurt us, but is really putting together a perfect plan for our lives? In this discussion, we will look at 4 clear signals that show a higher power is watching over you, based on the teachings of Carl Jung. These signals might not be easy to spot when they are happening, but when you think back on them later, you will see how you were directed toward what was truly best for you, even during your hardest moments. Let us discover these signals and understand how they prove that you never have to face your struggles completely by yourself. Carl Jung was convinced that the forces that guide our lives are not just random events happening by chance. They are pieces of a much deeper plan that the universe has designed. Jung created an idea called the collective unconscious, which he described as a deep pool of experiences that all human beings share together, something that goes beyond what any one person is aware of. Inside this shared consciousness are what Jung called archetypes. These are universal patterns and symbols that help us make sense of the world around us and show us the way through life's difficult times. These archetypes include familiar figures like the hero who overcomes challenges or the wise old person who gives good advice. They often show up in our lives as influences that seem to work on us from the outside, pushing us toward personal growth and positive change. But these appearances are not just accidents or lucky breaks. They are part of the way the universe keeps us safe, helping us find our way through hard times and challenges. Jung also came up with the idea of synchronicity, which refers to meaningful connections between events that seem to go against logical explanation. According to Jung, synchronicity is how the universe steps into our lives, making things line up in ways that help us grow and develop as people. These events might look random or unplanned, but they are not just things that happen by accident. They are messages from a higher power that is working quietly in the background to show us the right direction. Jung believed that most of the time, we do not notice the help or protection we are getting while it is happening. Only after some time has passed, when we can look back and think carefully about what occurred, can we see how we were gently moved away from paths that were not right for us or led toward chances we never could have seen coming. Quick question before we start. On a scale of 1 to 10, how protected do you feel in your life right now? Drop your number in the comments. I have a feeling this number might change by the end of this video. Now let's look at the 4 signals that might show you are being kept safe by a higher power. These signals usually appear during times when we are struggling or feeling unsure about what to do next. But they are often the universe's method of pointing us toward a real purpose in life. Signal number 1. Your life, as schedule, feels wrong, but perfectly right at the same time. Your life might feel like it moves in sudden bursts and then stops completely, sometimes rushing forward quickly, other times coming to a complete standstill. You have probably lived through moments when everything seemed to be falling apart around you, as if the universe was working against you instead of for you. But when you take time to look back at those experiences, you might discover that each failure, each moment when you felt lost and confused, was actually steering you toward exactly the place you were supposed to end up. Carl Jung talked often about something he called the trickster archetype. This is an energy that shakes things up and creates challenges for us, making life feel messy and impossible to predict. But underneath all this confusion and disorder, there is a deeper flow working in our lives. There is a perfect timing to everything, a bigger plan that is slowly revealing itself. The timing of events in our lives often feels completely wrong when we are living through them. Things get delayed, opportunities slip through our fingers, and we lose things that seemed important to us. These experiences might feel like proof that we have been abandoned or ignored by whatever forces control our destiny. But Jung taught that these very interruptions and setbacks are often part of the protection that a higher power provides for us. They redirect our steps when we are about to walk down a path that would not serve us well. For instance, you might have lost a job that you thought was important to you. And when it happened, It felt like the universe was pulling away everything you had worked for and counted on. But as time passed, you came to understand that losing that job created space for something much better to enter your life. Something that truly matched your deepest interests and life purpose. Or perhaps a romantic relationship came to an end, and at the time it felt like a heartbreaking loss that would never heal. But eventually, you discovered a deeper and more genuine connection with someone else, a relationship that helped you grow as a person in ways you never thought possible before. When things get pushed back and your path takes unexpected turns, these are not messages that you have failed or that you are being punished for something you did wrong. Instead, these redirections are part of how your inner self grows and develops over time. They work like a protective shield that steers you toward whatever will serve you best in life. When you go through these periods where the timing feels completely off and wrong, have faith that there is something much bigger than you working in your favor. The universe is rebuilding and reshaping the road you walk on, all for your greatest benefit, even when you cannot see how this could possibly be true right now. What looks and feels like you are moving backward or losing ground is really divine protection in action, moving you closer to the life you were always supposed to live and experience. The second signal, you get protection that cannot be explained during a crisis. Life brings moments when everything feels like it is spinning wildly out of your control. You feel like you are standing right at the edge of a cliff with your entire life hanging by a thread, falling through empty space while fear and uncertainty eat away at your peace of mind. But right when the ground beneath your feet seems to completely disappear, something that makes no logical sense steps in to catch you and hold you steady. This might come as an unexpected twist in how events unfold, a surprising change in circumstances, or a strange coincidence that completely changes the direction you were heading. In that exact moment, you come to understand that this is not the end of your story, but actually the start of a brand new chapter. This new part of your life will be one where you are kept safe by something far greater and more powerful than yourself. Carl Jung had strong beliefs about what he called the numinous. This refers to a feeling of the divine or supernatural that we encounter during our most difficult moments and crises. These are the times when our logical, thinking minds cannot figure out what to do or how to solve our problems. Yet something that exists beyond the ordinary world steps in to help. This force offers us protection, shows us which way to go, and gives us the support we desperately need. Jung argued that when these critical moments happen in our lives, higher powers that operate in the unconscious parts of our minds create a protective barrier around us. This shield makes sure that we do not have to face life, this chaos and confusion all by ourselves, without any help or guidance. You might have found yourself in a situation where your life was in real danger. This could have been a serious accident, a frightening health problem, or a close call where something terrible almost happened to you. Then something that you could not explain or understand saved you from harm. Maybe a chain of unusual events happened one after another, and these strange occurrences led directly to your survival and safety. Or perhaps a sudden flash of understanding or insight came to you out of nowhere, and this realization guided you to a safe place when everything seemed hopeless and lost. Jung would tell you that these experiences are not just lucky breaks or random coincidences that happen to work out in your favor. Instead, these are moments when divine forces step directly into your life to help you. They are times when a higher power actively protects you and makes sure that you continue walking on the path you were always meant to follow, even when you cannot fully grasp or understand how this protection actually works. These powerful experiences work as clear reminders that we never have to face our struggles completely alone and without help. There are invisible forces that operate behind the scenes of our daily lives, quietly guiding our steps, keeping us safe from harm, and making sure we stay on the right track for our personal journey. Even during the very darkest moments of our lives, when it feels like our entire world is crumbling and falling apart around us, there is a divine presence that makes certain we remain safe and protected. This same presence continuously directs us toward the authentic journey that our soul came here to experience and complete. The third signal. Your errors and failures transform into greater understanding. Picture a ceramic jar that used to be smooth and perfect, but now has splits and breaks running through it so it can no longer hold water inside. At first glance, these breaks look like damage, like something went wrong and ruined what was once whole and useful. But when you take time to examine it more carefully, those same cracks show you something amazing. They reveal a deeper and more meaningful truth that was completely hidden when everything looked perfect on the outside. Your personal failures and wrong choices work exactly like that broken jar. When you mess up, it feels like everything is spilling out into your life and making a complete mess. It seems like you have created nothing but trouble and confusion. But the reality is that these mistakes actually uncover the beauty and deep understanding that was always there under the surface, waiting to be discovered. Carl Jung taught people that our mistakes and failures should not make us afraid or cause us to try avoiding all risks in life. These errors are actually a necessary and important part of how we grow as individuals and how we develop into better versions of ourselves over time. Jung had a strong belief that what he called our shadow, which means the hidden and darker parts of our personality that we try to keep buried and out of sight, often shows itself most clearly during times when we fail or make serious errors in judgment. But rather than these shadow moments existing to punish us or make us suffer, they actually create opportunities for us to change and transform in deep and meaningful ways. The mistakes and wrong choices we make are not proof that we are failures as people. Instead, they are clear signals that show us our soul is on a journey toward becoming complete and whole. You might have made a choice that you deeply regret, one that brought pain and disappointment to yourself and possibly to other people in your life as well. But as days, months, and years go by, you start to see how that very mistake actually led you to a much greater understanding of who you really are as a person and what you truly need to be happy and fulfilled in life. It is exactly through these experiences that feel negative and harmful that we actually gain real wisdom and insight into ourselves and the world around us. Jung would explain that every single mistake we make represents one more step along the path toward what he called individuation. This means the process of becoming the most complete and authentic version of ourselves that we can possibly be. These difficult moments force us to look directly at our shadows and to accept and embrace the parts of our personality that we have spent years denying, hiding from, or trying to pretend do not exist. And when we finally do this challenging work of facing ourselves honestly, we grow tremendously in both wisdom and self-awareness. You should learn to embrace and accept your mistakes and failures, because they are not just moments when you did not succeed or when things went wrong in your life. They are actually protection working in a hidden way that you cannot see clearly in the moment. Every time you take a wrong turn, every time you make a misstep or choose poorly, it is all part of a much larger and more intelligent strategy. This strategy comes from a higher power that has a plan designed specifically to push you toward becoming a more genuine and authentic version of who you really are deep down inside. When everything is said and done, it is through these very mistakes and failures that we discover and uncover the wisdom we need to move forward in our lives with clear vision and strong purpose. Each lesson we learn, no matter how painful and difficult it might be to go through, brings us one step closer to becoming the person we were always truly meant to be from the very beginning. The fourth signal, you notice strong signs and meaningful connections all around you. Think of walking through a thick woodland where someone has dropped small pieces of bread along the ground to mark the way forward. Meaningful connections and signs work just like those breadcrumbs that help you find your direction. They show up as events, meetings with people, and symbols that seem to happen by accident, but they appear at exactly the moment when you need them most. Each one of these experiences confirms and reassures you that you are walking on the correct path for your life. These moments can surprise you with how perfectly they fit into your situation. It feels like the universe itself is putting up road signs and markers along your personal journey to show you which way to go and to let you know you are heading in the right direction. Carl Jung became famous for explaining something he called synchronicity. He described this as the idea that there are no real accidents or random events in life. The things that we think are just chance happenings are actually the result of a deeper force that we cannot see working behind the scenes. This is a higher power that is carefully arranging and organizing all the events that happen in your life. When you go through these powerful moments where things connect in ways that seem too perfect to be accidents, this is the universe, this method of communicating with you. It is telling you clearly that you are being kept safe and protected, and that you are in exactly the place where you are supposed to be at this point in your life. You might have had a meeting with someone that felt like pure chance and coincidence. This person ended up changing your life in important ways, or maybe you found an opportunity that you never could have planned for or expected to come your way. Perhaps you suddenly discovered the perfect answer to a problem at just the right moment when you needed it most. Jung believed strongly that these events were much more than just lucky breaks or fortunate accidents. They are clear signals that the universe is actively guiding your steps and decisions. These experiences confirm that a higher force is keeping you safe and watching over every part of your journey through life. These meaningful connections come into your life to comfort you and give you confidence that you are not facing your struggles and challenges completely by yourself. Even when things around you feel messy, confusing, or uncertain, All the different pieces of your life are actually falling into their proper places according to a plan you cannot fully see. When these signs show up in your experience, it becomes very important for you to trust them and believe in what they are telling you. They are not just coincidences that happen to work out well for you. They are messages from a divine source that are confirming you are walking on the right path for your personal growth and development. These moments of meaningful connection work like gentle pushes from a higher power. They reassure you that you are being protected and guided, and they softly encourage you to keep moving toward the path that your soul is meant to walk. They work as reminders that no matter how difficult or confusing your journey might feel, you are being watched over and guided through every unexpected turn and challenge that comes your way. So when these signs appear in your life, take some time to stop what you are doing, think about what is happening, and feel grateful for the confirmation that you are exactly where you need to be right now. With that feeling of comfort and reassurance filling your mind, take a slow, deep breath, close your eyes gently, and place your hand softly over your heart. In this peaceful moment, let yourself connect with the feeling that something much greater than yourself is guiding and directing your steps through life. Picture this higher power in your mind. It might be the universe itself, a divine presence, or the deeper wisdom that lives inside you. Imagine this force offering you its protection and support in everything you do. Let this feeling completely fill your whole being with warmth, comfort, and trust in the process of your life. Now take time to think about this important question. When was the most recent time you felt protection working in your life? Think back to the signs you received, the meaningful connections that happened, or the moments when you felt guided and directed, even if you did not understand what was happening at the time. What signs and guidance have you missed or ignored in the past? How can you start to trust more completely in the higher forces that are working to help you and guide you forward? To make this experience more real and lasting tonight, light a candle and create a quiet space to honor your personal journey and all the protection that surrounds you every day. As you watch the flame move and flicker, remind yourself over and over that you are never alone in this life. You are always being guided and directed by forces that care about you. You are always being watched over and protected. Accept this trust deep into your heart and know for certain that every single step you take is supported and encouraged, even when the path ahead looks unclear or confusing. Life flows like a river that sometimes moves gently and peacefully, and other times rushes forward with great force and energy. But this river always flows toward the ocean, which is its final destination. Even during the darkest and most difficult moments of your life, the current of this river carries you forward, guiding you to exactly where you need to go for your highest good. You are not walking this path through life completely by yourself. The forces that protect you, guide your decisions, and shape the direction of your journey are always with you, even though you may not always be able to see them clearly or understand how they work. Trust deeply in this process of guidance and protection, because you are exactly where you need to be at this moment in your life. Accept and embrace the signs that come to you. Trust completely in the protection that surrounds you. Move forward with confidence and certainty that you are being cared for. The higher power that watches over you every day is leading you toward a future that will be filled with satisfaction, understanding, and inner peace. This is not just the story of your individual life. This is the story of how the entire universe is working together in your favor, guiding you step by step toward discovering and becoming your truest self. Trust completely in this process and allow the protection that is always around you to unfold naturally in your life. This is Echoes of Psyche, the place where your journey of personal growth and positive transformation is always guided by divine forces that care about your highest good. If this video helped you recognize divine protection in your own life, type "protected" in the comments and share one example. If you found this video useful, please like it and subscribe to the channel. There are more videos on this channel that will help you become a better version of yourself.